hope I'm doing it justice. Ayodele, is that right? Yes. I just learned about her. Her name means joy in the morning, and I guess maybe somebody else was going to say that. I'm so impressed with her. She's Miss Barksdale, Ivy Barksdale is going to introduce her. And Miss Ivy is the youngest aunt of Ayodele. Ayodele was in the class of '92, and Ivy was the inspiration for Ayodele. Her four brothers, all Bryan Station grads, and several cousins pursued careers in engineering. Miss Barksdale, electrical engineering skills brought her to Lexington in '84 to work for IBM and later Lexmark. She left the corporate world in 2005 and is now pursuing a career in real estate. Please come and tell us about this wonderful girl.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, good evening.
As you mentioned, my name is Ivy Barksdale. And yeah, it's said that Ayo decided to become an engineer because I was her inspiration to be an engineer. And I never would have imagined how much farther she would go than I did, and I am so proud of her. I'm here representing the family. It's several aunts and uncles and cousins that are all supporters of hers. But everybody knew that Ayodele, and we called her Ayo, that she would be outstanding in anything that she set her mind to, because, you know, at a young age, her vocabulary, everything about her just spoke success. And so while she was a student here at Bryan Station, she was the vice president of the National Honor Society, the treasurer of the Beta Club, a student council member, academic team member, member of the Spanish Honor Society, a National Merit finalist, and on the senior executive council. And so she was very adamant about not just being known as a nerd or, you know, the brains of the bunch. So in addition to her academic accolades, she was elected prom queen. She was most valuable player on the girls soccer team and valedictorian of her class. According to Ayodele, I loved my time at Bryan Station High School, and I have always said that it prepared me for the life that I have lived in such phenomenal ways. The students, teachers, and community cared so much. Ayodele graduated from Georgia Institute of Technology, I'll say it correctly, with a bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. She was also elected Miss Georgia Tech in 1995. She was named Outstanding Woman Engineer and was also named National Member of the Year for the National Society of Black Engineers. She followed up her success at Georgia Tech with a Master's of Science and a PhD in Electrical Engineering at Stanford University in Palo Alto, California, where she was earned a National Science Foundation Graduate Fellowship and Stanford's most prestigious Stanford Graduate Fellowship. Ayodele was the first Black female to receive a PhD in electrical engineering from Stanford University. The experiences and challenges Ayodele faced in becoming the first Black woman at Stanford to achieve a PhD in electrical engineering encouraged her to forego a potentially lucrative career in the high-tech sector of Silicon Valley in order to pursue a career in higher education administration. Now, for more than 25 years, Dr. Ayodele Thomas has focused on diversity and inclusion, particularly in the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM areas. Since her college days serving on the national board for the National Society of Black Engineers, Ayodele's passion has been increasing the pipelines for minority students in STEM and working to increase minority representation in doctoral education and the professorial ranks. Dr. Thomas is currently the Associate Vice President for Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging in University Human Resources at Stanford University, where she leads the development and implementation of the university's diversity and inclusion vision, strategy, and programs for its 16,000 staff across the university. She previously worked 4 years in the Stanford School of Medicine as the Associate Dean for Graduate and Career Education and Diversity, and 13 years in the School of Humanities and Sciences as the Assistant Dean for Diversity Programs, Data, and Technology. As a lecturer for 18 years, she has taught a self-designed course for first-year doctoral students focusing on the academic, psychosocial, financial, and career issues that face graduate students. In addition to her roles at Stanford University since 2015, Ayodele has served as the Executive Director of Green Scholars, a successful San Jose, California-based long-term STEM enrichment program for Black youth that sends 100% of program graduates to college, with 60% of them pursuing STEM degrees. So my niece lives in Santa Clara, California with her husband of 23 years, Jonathan Thomas, and her 2 children, Maisha and Jonathan Jr. Ayo is not here with us today because Maisha is a senior in high school, and this weekend happens to be playing in one of the biggest volleyball tournaments of her career. And so Mom did not want to miss that. They're in Reno with about 250 teams competing this weekend. So, as I mentioned, Maisha will be graduating this year, and Jonathan Jr. is in the 10th grade. And I'm sure she is so appreciative of her family and friends who are here. Her brother, Obiora Embry, her aunt, Alicia Mapp, a longtime friend and family of the family, Chester Grundy. And to receive the award on Ayodele's behalf, I'd like to introduce her mother, Dr. Deborah Mapp, and her father, James Embry.